that you can just leave it out.
I'm very tired. Like very.
So, all right, ladies and gents, it says that we're going to factor polynomials. Now, if you remember, it's not that bad. If you don't remember, I'll show you how to do it. So remember, you have to go in the particular order. And you need to start right here. By the way, before we do this, what you really should do is check to see if there's anything common in all three. For all of these that we're doing today, remember we're factoring. I didn't write the word factor in front of all of them. But what you should do is look and see if there's anything that's common to all of these. Anything common? I don't think none of these have any common factor. If there is something in common, you should take that out first, right? So we're going to start with this one. And today I wanted to start a little bit easy. With the x squared, there's only one possibility. What numbers multiply together, or what values multiply together to give you an x squared? Has to be x times x, right? There is no other possibility. That has to be x times x. I'm pretty sure I really screwed up. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So this first one has to be x times x is x squared. Then we go down to the very end. This is what we look at next. And you want to know, what are the factors of 2? Well, 2 only has one set of factors. It has to be 1 times 2, right? No other possibilities. So I know that this has to be a 1 and a 2. No other possibilities. The only other thing you need now are the signs in there. For the signs, you look right here first. And you want to know, how would we multiply those two numbers together and end up with a positive value there? Well, there's 2 ways you could get a positive. Positive times positive, or negative times negative, right? And to figure out which, then you look to the middle here. Because it's positive, what do you know about these two? They have to both be positive then. Is that sort of ringing a bell? And then if you remember when we did Algebra 1, well, you two probably don't remember.
I do.
But the inside-outside double check, I doubt if she referred to it as the inside-outside double check. But I always asked everyone, what is this? 1x. And what is this? A positive 2x. If you combine those, you should get the value in the middle. That's the inside-outside double check. So you know you factored this one right. How about, I guess, let's go all the way down here to this one next. Nothing common, so if it factors, it's going to be into binomials like this. You start right here. What do you multiply to get v squared? V times v, that's pretty easy. It's only one possibility, right? Now down at the other end, this one is a little bit different. To get a 2 here, we only had one possibility. Has to be 1 times 2. But for 15, it could be 1 and 15, and it could be 3 and 5. Down here. So to figure out which set you want to use, you have to look at, we want the set that will add to 8. We want the set that will add to 8. Does this add to 8? No. Does this add to 8? Yes. So we know it has to be 3, 5. Now the signs. Once you have the values in there, then you look at the signs. And again, this one, it's a positive. How do you multiply two things and get a positive? It's either a positive times a positive or a negative negative. So you look right here, and then since this one's positive, positive, positive. And then the inside-outside double check, 3v and v times 5 is 5v. Does that add up to? Yes, so you know you did it right. How about this one? How about this one? Here, x squared has to be xx. Down here I have 10. 1 and 10, or 2 times 5. You want the combination that will add to 11. Which one?
1 and 10.
1 and 10. It's a positive, so it's either going to be positive times positive or negative times negative. Plus plus. And then the inside-outside double check. What do you get here?
1.
What do you get here?
1.
And if you add those up, so we're good. So we're good. How about this one?
It's t plus 2 and t plus 7.
How do you know that?
Because I did it.
She's such a smart cookie. So we go down here, it has to be 1 and 14 or 2 and 7. But you said since it's a 9 there,
Yeah.
they have to add up to 9. Well, this doesn't add up to 9. And again, same side, positive, positive, or negative, negative. Has to be positive, positive. Did you do the inside-outside double check? What do you
Yeah.
get here? 2t, 17, so 19. So those are all, how about this one? This one has a positive at the end also. Oh, wait till you see this one. Has to be x and x, but when we go down to the end, 1 and 36, could be 2 and 18, could be 3 and 12, could be 4 and 9, could be 6 and 6. Holy cow! So we need the pair that will, are you watching? Has to add to 20. They have to add up. Is 6 plus 6 20? No. Is 9 plus 4 20? No. 3 and 12? No. 2 and 18? Yes. So it has to be 2 and 18 to add to 20. Again, it's a plus again, so that means it's either plus plus or minus minus. But this time it's a minus, so it's minus minus. And then you want to do the inside-outside double check. Negative 2x, and this is negative 18x, which gives us negative 20x. Are we good so far? So now what happens if there's a negative at the end? Well, look at this one. Has to be u and u. It's an 8. 1 and 8, 2 and 4. This time, though, we need the combination that will subtract to 7. Which one? 1 and 8. 1 and 8. And then the signs, because it's a negative now. You have to multiply these and end up with a negative. That means you have to have one of each, right? See this? Whatever is in the middle now, the big one has to get whatever is in the middle. 8 is bigger than 1. Because this is a positive, we're going to have a positive 8 and a negative 1. Does that make sense? The bigger of these two values gets whatever is in the middle. The bigger of those two, 1 or 8, 8 is bigger, so it gets the plus. Now the important thing, these are a little more important that you do the inside-outside double check. That's a negative 1u, and this is a positive 8u. Does that give you a plus 7u? Is it coming back to you now? Do you have any questions so far? So let's do this one next. We'll save that one for last. It's going to be so much fun. I'll do the x and x. 15 has to be 1 and 15 or 3 and 5. Has to subtract to 2. Has to subtract to 2. Subtract to 2. Which pair subtracts to 2? Right. So 3 and 5. 3, 5. Because this is negative, how do you multiply these two things and get a negative? You're going to have one of each. She says, say that again? She says plus 3 minus 5. Is she right?
Yes.
Because whatever the middle is, the bigger one of these two. 5 is bigger, so it's going to get the minus. And now the inside-outside double check. This is a positive 3x. And this is, what does that give you? Negative 2. Is that making sense? Okay, now the grand finale. Are you ready? Are you ready? Caleb Croft, are you ready? I'll do the x and the x. But 48, holy cow, could be 1 and 48, could be 2 and, could be 3 and 16, could be 4 and 12, 6 and 8. Now, I want you to think about it. Don't say anything, just raise your hand when you get it. They have to subtract to 8. Oh boy. They have to subtract to 8. They have to subtract to 8. I would just like to point out that the girls had their hands up. And Caleb. And Alex. You don't want to be a show-off? So which pair will subtract to 8? 4 and 12. So 4 and 12. And of those 4 and 12, it's a negative here. So when I multiply and get a negative, that means I have one of each. What goes where? What does the 4 get? And the minus, because the bigger one gets what's in the middle. 4 and 12. 12 is bigger, so it gets the negative. Inside, outside, double check. What do you get? 4x. What do you get? And if you combine those, you better get what's in the middle. Does that make sense? So if you notice, all the ones that we did today are going to have a coefficient of 1 there. Hopefully, if I assign right. One other thing. Can I just say one other thing, everybody listening? So what happens if I have t squared plus 5t plus 3? Hang on, can we see that? Yes, yes we can. So I try to factor, and I have t and t. The only possible combination here is 1 and 3. But yet, I need a combination that will add to 5. But I only have one possibility. It has to be 1 and 3, but that doesn't add to 5. So you know what happens here? This can't be factored. What do you call it if it can't be factored? It's prime. So there will be a few that are prime, but I'll tell you how many. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Do you have questions? Are there any questions? Does anyone have a question? Anyone? Anyone? Page 191. I went out of order. Hey, look at this. This is a brand new one.
The top one? Oh,
I didn't because it's brand new. I never used it before.
send it back.
Oh, you know what? The cap is really loose. Send it back.
Get a refund.
Get a refund. Oh, here I have another graph. Page, what did I say, 191? Oh, look at that.
One,
Nice and bold.
1 to
1 to 58.
That's it.
Yes. Now, there are 4. How do you know?
It's written in my
It's written in the
book.
book.
Oh,
And-
mine's not.
Of those 4 primes, 2 are even numbered and 2 are odd numbered problems. There's 4 primes. 2 are even, 2 are odd.
Do we have to do the check or can we just do the front?
Well, I would like you to do the check. It only takes a second.
What if I do it in my head?